Okay, appreciate everyone showing up today. I want to go ahead and get started. If you haven't signed in, you can do so afterwards. Today's main objective is the elections, and then afterwards we can talk about any updates for the chapter. So, do you want to have any opening remarks or anything, sir, before we roll into elections?
Thank you all for coming. My name is Jeremy Nickel. I'm the current chapter president. I'm also the regional president for the Pacific. So I will be working with you still even after I step down as the president. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I apologize for the delay. We were kind of giving some people a little bit extra time to get here. Also, if in case you're wondering why we don't change over the entire council every 6 months, it's in our Constitution bylaws where it's a minimum 6-month rotation, but you can do up to 3 years to allow for continuity. People that are here on extended tours build that experience, build that continuity so they can get comfortable in the position. So we allow them, if they're performing well, to stay in their slot as long as they want to up to that 3-year limit. So that's kind of why we don't completely do 100% changeover every time, in case you're wondering that. After the election, I'll go into a little bit more detail about our structure for the new folks. But for right now, I'd like to hand it off to our current Executive Vice President, which is Lieutenant General retired Tannenbaum. He's in the top left of the screen there. Sir, do you have any words for the new council?
Yes, welcome. Before anything else, as a Korean, I just want to thank all of you for serving in Korea and helping us out defending freedom. And in turn, this will definitely contribute to the security of the United States. I would just like to give you an update on what I've been doing, which is trying to get tax recognition from the Korean government considering our chapter. The reason that we need to do this is initially we thought that it would make the donations easier, which it does. But during the process, I realized that all the donations activity that we've been doing on the Korean Peninsula technically borders on illegal activity. So we need to get this tax exemption so that everything is kosher and legal. And gentlemen, ladies, the Korean laws are very, very strict. So I think we need to do this as soon as possible. Another side effect of this effort will be that we'll be able to, once we get tax exempt recognition, we'll be able to, it'll be easier for big companies to donate money to us, and they will get a tax break. But on the other hand, for us, it's a lot of paperwork. I mean, the Korean government expects us to be accountable for every penny that we get as donations. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. I was hoping that we would be able to do this within September, and so submitted the application to the Korea tax agency about 3 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I found out that one more step had to occur before the tax recognition status request could be made, which is getting a non-profit organization status. Now this is something that all non-profits must do in Korea. I was hoping that we would be able to get away with not getting this, but apparently it's not possible. So what this is all Korean-based non-profits must be recognized by a certain ministry. So, you know, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Interior, and so forth, all of them would need to identify or sponsor a nonprofit. And for us, it would be the Ministry of National Defense. The good news is I have found out that the sponsoring organization within the my old division that I was a chief of. And the people there are very friendly to this effort. And so we have some good backing from the Ministry of National Defense. Having said that, there's a lot of paperwork that's going to be involved. And I explained to Jeremy that this paperwork, it's a lot of red tape. And it's just beyond my capability. So tomorrow at 1600, I'm going to have a meeting with a legal administrative agent who is very clear on these kind of things. So with his help, and we will have to pay him, with his help, we will hopefully be able to get this process through. And if things go as planned, we might actually be able to meet the deadline of September of this year to get this. If you're wondering how much it'll cost, I'm hoping that it will cost less than $2,000. So that's where we are. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
again, welcome everyone, and I hope I'll be able to see you guys in person soon.
All right, thank you. Okay. I'll explain some more about that after all this is done. So without further ado, I'll hand it up to Sergeant Adams, who can run the election process.
Okay, so the way we're going to do the elections is anybody that's being nominated for a position, you'll get a few seconds, like 30 seconds or so, to speak on why you think you'd be a good fit for that position, while the other people wait outside. And then after everyone's spoken, we'll all wait outside while we make the decision to choose who's going to fill that position. We're going to start from the top going down. So the first one that's going to be up is going to be the president position. And just going, we're not, it's just going to be raising the hand style ballot. Don't need to turn in the papers or anything like that. As far as nominations, is Erin Kelly here? And Tech Sergeant Perry? And Senior Sergeant Taylor? Cool. Whoever wants to go first, the other two can wait outside. If not, we'll just throw a dart at it, and the other two wait. That's like there you go.
All right. Hello, my name is Steve Taylor. Just got here back in March. Came off of basketball on my IG team out of Langley for ACC. I'm the 51st NXS Assistant Superintendent for the squadron. The reason why I wanted to be part of this team is because I think I could be a great asset in the ability to lead and help individuals find their way through these processes. And I have a proven track record of performance throughout my career, and I believe I can help out with bringing that third membership out Humphrey's on, and then helping out the general with whatever he needs. Have any questions for myself? 30 seconds.
wait outside.
Running around and stuff, I can leave to work like, California and Alaska.
Hello everyone, I'm Sergeant Park, and you'll see my name on a few of those, and that's only because I'm absolutely willing to serve in any capacity that I can. I'm looking for a leadership role to strengthen my skills that I already have. So what I mean by that is I've led different organizations not in the AFA, but when I was stationed in Okinawa, I've done things like international travel for Air Force Falls. I've headed up those types of committees, lower squadron level things, and so I have a little bit of experience. I'm an exec, that's why I was a little bit late today, maybe no six is down my top. And so I'm very familiar with working with all types of ranks, and I'm very comfortable with public speaking. So on top of being organized, I'm willing to give a lot of time towards this. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my My name is Specialist 4 Christopher Kelly, formerly Air Force, switched over to Space Force and I get an opportunity for my career field. As you notice, I'm the lowest ranking of the people who applied, but without my experience, despite my lack of experience, I make up for it in efficient ability to learn and take experience from those around me and use it to the most effective manner. However, I have had positions in the past, be it controlling all of the church functions in my local state of Ohio, to being a white rope in tech school, being on booster clubs, many different boards and activities in my local squadrons for my career in the Air Force. I believe I do have the ability to bring a fresh set of eyes as to see what the younger generation is and the lower tiers of the enlisted structure are. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, so you'll notice on the election forms, there's two sides, the elected and the appointed. The elected is going to be those that are chosen by the members, everyone that's here in the room, and the appointed is chosen by the president or soon to be new president. So all those in favor
I have a
of...
quick question first.
Yes, go ahead, let's do it. Questions?
So, I know the tax sergeant said she's on here for like every position because she's willing to do it.
Correct, right.
Is it possible that she gets selected by us for one and then also appointed for others?
So the way it's going to work is, obviously there's not a lot of nominations. There's 11 people that are going up for nominations. There's 11 positions that's on here. Whenever someone gets picked for one of those, if they feel like they can do the other role and they get chosen for that, cool. If not, then it'll just go, we'll just line them off on all the other positions that's on there. So, and then if we don't have somebody for one of the positions, it'll just stay vacant until we do the next meeting, and we can do a special election at that time.
So you're saying it gives somebody two positions instead of...
If they feel, so like right now, for example, right now, there's no one for the VP of Communications. Normally that would be the person that's doing all of this up here. I'm the secretary, and I'm doing that right now. So one of those areas may have a gap fill until somebody is able to fill that position. Not all positions have the same level of required work. So it's possible for someone to do more than one, if depends on what their workload is and what their ops tempo is. Is there any other questions?
I would highly recommend that that doesn't happen.
Yes, true.
Because these positions actually do require some involvement. So I'm not saying it can't be done, but you'd be really pushing your limits to do two positions in this council.
Not wrong. Are there any other questions before we actually do the tally? Yes, sir? Is that me?
For the triple passport by the D1 secretary, how is that different than the other?
What's that?
So maybe on here, we said.
So, with the secretary, I didn't advertise the District 1 secretary because currently that is Sergeant Rojas Jimenez. Again, she has the option of staying in the position, but she's requesting to move up to my position, the Executive Secretary, over each of the bases. If she gets elected for the Executive Secretary, then that will open up her position as the Secretary, and the other members that are on the Executive Secretary nomination will then have the option of running for the district level, specifically Ozark level Secretary. So that the difference is Executive Secretary is in charge of each oversight of each of the bases. Right now we got Queenstown District 2, Ozark District 1, and hopefully eventually District 3 for Humphreys. So that's the difference between the two, and that's what's going to happen in that scenario. Okay? Cool. There's no other questions. Moving on to count. All those in favor of Seniorman Kelly for position of secretary? I'm sorry, yes, president, correction. Okay? All those in favor of Tech Sergeant Fari? And all those in favor of Senior Master Sergeant Taylor?
Sorry.
No, because that's me. And then for those that are online, General Chun and Major Sander, why is it showing Sandy?
Yeah,
Major Shirai.
Operator of Vanessa and Taylor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. General Chun, are you still online?
I'm still online. I can barely hear you guys.
Okay. Not sure how I could talk louder. I'm not sure how to increase the voices in the room. How's that? Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you heard the folks that are running for the president position or not, but we're doing the counts for all in favor of which one. Did you have a preference?
Yeah. Yeah, I was following that.
Did you have a preference for who you would like to be in that position, General Chan?
No. No preference.
Okay. Well, with that being said, votes are 7 for Senior Taylor and 5 for Sergeant Ferry. So, that will be.
Yeah.
So would it be better for the people to keep close to the?
That's what I'm getting ready to do for the second batch. So, for those that just came in the room, votes were the majority vote went for Steam Sergeant Taylor for that position. For the other 2 members, if you aren't already interested, running for one of the other positions, you'll have the option of running for one of those. So we'll move on to the executive secretary position. So Sergeant Rojas Jimenez, I know you're here, is Sergeant Lane. I don't think I saw him here. He's out. He's doing housing today, and I'm going to butcher your name, Sergeant.
If she wants to run, she can just go ahead and I can just run for what position. But there should be enough, right?
Okay, and Sergeant Fari. So, so if you're going to pull out of that one, then for Sergeant Fari and Rojas Jimenez, if one of you want to step outside and the other one want to speak. Yeah, you can step outside a bit. Yeah, I guess it's just one. You only really did 2 one time, so. And just for so we can clear up the whole voice issue, if you want to speak closer, like maybe right next to Mr. Nickel, then
Is that okay?
yeah, that works. We at least we get a better voice.
Good afternoon. I'm Staff Sergeant Rojas. I'm from the Comp Squadron. So these last 6 months, I've been, as he said, the secretary for the district. I have a lot of ideas that we've discussed among the current council, but I do feel like I'm better suited for more of an oversight type of position, just from my experience this last 6 months. So I did want to step up and do the executive position. I will not be running for the same position I have right now, either way. Like I said, it's just, I feel like my personality type, and what I do every day is better tailored for an executive level position. Seeing especially what Sergeant Adams has done and stuff like that, I feel like I'm ready to step up to do that and help both of the teams here and as well as Kunsan, move forward and hopefully get Camp Humphreys actually with their own chapter as well is what the goal is. So, yeah, a little bit about me. I've been here for 15, 16 months now here at Osan. I will be PCSing in March of next year to Ramstein. Yeah. So very excited about that. So I previously before AFA, I've been, like I'm sure the majority of you guys have been very involved with different organizations. So the Women's Equality Symposium that just happened in March, if any of you had a chance to check that out, I was heavily involved in that. And then, Air Force Association, booster clubs, a plethora of things, Diversity Day committees. Now, I'm one of the leads for the Equality Day, Women's Equality Day observance coming up next month. So, if you guys need to ask anybody about kind of me and my credentials and the way I operate, feel free. I can definitely point you to enough people. But like I said, I feel like right now the best position for me would be the executive level if I do get selected for any position. Any questions for me? Well, is she going to speak again?
I mean, she already spoken one time, so I guess it would make sense just to speak once. Okay, for the two positions that's being run, all those in favor of Sergeant Rojas Jimenez for Executive Secretary? Major Sherrod, were you able to hear? Okay, thank you, ma'am. And General Chun, were you able to hear better on that one?
Not really.
Okay. Not sure. Voice
Sounds
on that.
like a great introduction though.
Yes, sir. Okay, and then all those in favor of Sergeant Party? Okay.
Should be launched, so this is.
What's that?
Also thinking about the council advisor,
What's that?
no, I think I'm actually just going to switch to the council advisor role. That's still up.
Council advisor?
Yes.
So that would be an appointed position.
No, we don't. Shouldn't be on there.
So the advisors are appointed by the president as their own trusted advisors. So if the president would like to pick you for as that role, we have one Korean advisor and one U.S. advisor.
Okay, and then, so the majority votes for the executive secretary went for Sergeant Rojas Jimenez. So with that being said, and like I said before, that now opens up the secretary position for OSUN. When we get down to that one, anyone that's interested can run for that. Moving on to the District 1 Vice President, Sergeant Lane, who says wasn't here. And then Airman Kelly and Sergeant Fari. If y'all wanted to say anything specific about this particular position, you'll have the opportunity to do that. If not, we're going to have both of y'all step outside.
Okay, yes, so we're going over the vice president
So
position.
did either of y'all want to talk?
And then,
Obviously
or
separated, but
actually,
did either of y'all want to give anything additional?
I shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
That vice president is placed for secretary.
Okay.
He should be here in the next five minutes or so.
Okay, as we've already heard each of those two members speak, all those in favor of Airman Kelly for the District 1 Vice President? Major Sherrod, ma'am? We're doing account for Airman Kelly for Vice President?
No, the other.
Okay, Sergeant Fari. Yes, ma'am. And then in the room, all those in favor of Sergeant Fari? Cool. Okay, for the District 1 Vice President, majority votes went for Tech Sergeant Fari. Okay, again, going to the next role, which is going to be the now available District 1 Secretary. Sergeant Smith is the only name I had.
She's actually on the.
Okay, and I'll just get ready to say, oh, can you hear me, ma'am? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, hi. So So we're getting ready to do a brief talk about why members want to be in the secretary role. So give me just a second. Is there anybody else in the room that's going to run for the secretary position for District 1? Anybody else? Anybody Kelly? Anybody else out here? Okay. So you're you have the opportunity now. You can talk to the crowd about why you want to be the District 1 secretary. If you want to say a few words.
Yes. So I just wanted to run for secretary because I do think that it's a great opportunity for myself professionally and personal growth. I also find it as a good opportunity to contribute back to the Air Force and just to have a good connection between the community and get some volunteer opportunities out to other people. I love to volunteer. I've seen what you guys have done. I've seen how the community operates. It's very professional, and I just want to be a part of the team. And I think I will do very well and contribute to you guys' team. I am a logistics planner, so it does natural to me to hold meetings and schedule things along that way. I do apologize for not being there in person. I would have loved to have been able to put face with my name and give you 100% my undivided attention. So that's all I have there.
Okay. Man, quiet, silent vote anyway. Any objections to Sergeant Smith for the secretary? Major Sherrod, did you hear, or were you able to hear Sergeant Smith?
Yes, I heard.
Okay, any objections to her filling secretary role?
No, no objection.
Okay. So with that being said, Sergeant Smith, congratulations. You'll be the new secretary for District 1.
I do know that I do have to go ahead and submit my membership. So is that something I can do today?
I'll talk with each of those that are elected offline or regarding the next steps.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Okay, then we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Sergeant Crawford, are you here?
Yeah.
You are, right? Okay. And I'm assuming that no one else in here is running for the treasurer position. I only have one. Okay. With that being said, Sergeant Crawford, if you want to say a few words.
Hello everybody, I'm Sergeant Crawford. I recently just got to Osan about 2 months ago. I came from Tyndall, where as an airman I did be a part of as a vice president of invitations for the Air Force Ball, as well as mementos. But here, being a new staff sergeant, I would like the opportunity to be in a lead position. And I know definitely I did go for treasurer because I also saw it was open, and I think I'm fairly good with numbers, so you can count numbers. But yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. You want to step outside for a moment? So is there any objections to Sergeant Smith being the treasurer for District 1? Any objections? No? Major
No.
Sherrod?
No objection.
Okay, copy that. Okay, the majority was, well, there were no objections, so you'll be the new District 1 treasurer. Okay, moving on to the appointed positions. Again, these will be decided amongst the president, recommended from the president and decided amongst the new president. Sergeant Lane, again, is not able to make it here today. Sergeant Ricard, I believe you are here. Hi. You want to give a few words?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Technical Sergeant Ty Record. my previous installation was Luke Air Force Base. I just got here about a month and a half ago. I'll be out here for a full year. I'm looking to stay on the council for the duration of that period. In the past, I've led some other committees at the group level or squadron level, and it was very insightful. It was nice to work with people that were outside of my particular AFSC and in my particular unit, and now I'm looking to expand that as well and work with people who have different insight, different level of scope from farther reaching organizations, so that we can make a larger impact on the installation as a whole and the surrounding communities for the rest of the district as well. So I'm really excited to be able to work with people that have experience and knowledge that they can pass on to me, and hopefully I have some I can pass on to them. And I'm really passionate about education, and I believe there's an ROTC component to this position as well, so I'm excited about working with our younger members as well. Thank you.
Okay, the only nomination that is here, is there any objections for Sergeant Ricard as the VP of AE? Yes, ma'am.
Before we continue voting, is there any statement that Sergeant Wayne submitted ahead of time that we could hear about? I don't want to just be potentially ignoring somebody because they are able to speak at this meeting.
So I could speak on what, I don't know anyone that was able to attend personally, but I mean, I could speak on what they provided in their application, and y'all can base it on that. Okay. So as zero says next September. Just a couple of the highlights that's on the application is he's never been an official member of AFA. He's always supported the co-workers who were active during volunteering and advertising. But being a part of AFA is something that he wanted to do for some time now. Just timing wasn't ideal for him. He wants to be a part of something bigger, giving back to others, and he's very passionate. Great pride in his work. He loves criticizing, thinking, problem solving. He's well versed in facets of the process of process management and improvement. His only weakness is adjusting things to be his preference at the end of a task or project. And he'll do absolute best to provide value where he could. And that's pretty much all he has on here. That's for third lane.
I guess that kind of explains why his name's on like all of these.
Also, if I could, so these are all appointed positions, so as you as the new president, this will be you picking your council. You can do it however you want. You can pick it yourself. You can do a vote, majority, that's up to you. How I did it was I did the majority vote most of the time. There are a few exceptions where I did pick people, so that's at your discretion.
So without the other individual here, how's everybody feel about votes? Is everybody okay with that? So I say you voted out. Either Sergeant Lane or Sergeant Reinhardt. All ready for Sergeant Reinhardt? So this is like a majority.
Okay. Okay, for the first appointed position, VP of Aerospace Education, President is choosing Tech Sergeant Ricard for that position. Moving on to the VP of Airmen and Family Programs, Sergeant Faring. You're already the VP, so
I'll recall myself.
got it. That's them. And then Erin Kelly. So if you're still interested in that position, if you want to step outside, that way we can discuss.
Yes, sir.
I actually have a question first before you leave the room.
Okay, there you go.
Out of all the positions, would that one have been your favorite one?
Of all the positions I applied for,
Because like on the bottom one,
I'm the one went for veteran affairs, yeah. I mean,
like obviously you don't want to get slotted for multiple things, so I want you to get the thing that you're gonna want to do the most. So we don't want to vote you for this one and then you're automatically voted for that one, you know what I'm saying?
no one else is running for that position. I mean, I am an airman, so I mean, think veteran affairs probably is one I'm more passionate about than everything else.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I totally threw a wrench in there.
If I can do multiple things, I'll do multiple things, so I really help out wherever I can. Such as what the president wants.
Okay, Senior Taylor, did you want, members to step out and discuss?
Yeah, I'd like to have a discussion.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
So
discussion?
member hold of multiple positions. Question.
I would normally recommend no, because to fully do these positions to the level that they need to be, I don't see how most people can do. Because it's not just these two positions, a lot of times they're balancing their work life with school and with other volunteer activities. It's easy to get overwhelmed, and we see it a lot in this council, where we have people sign up from day one, motivated, and then we never see them again. They ghost us. It happens a lot. So I would highly recommend that you don't allow someone to do two positions.
Okay.
Now, I would like to say, based on these two positions, if he's passionate about the Veterans Affairs one, that might be okay. It's a new program that we're trying to start. We haven't gotten very much traction on it. So if he's motivated and has initiative and can go out there and take hold of it and get it going, that'd be great. Otherwise, our Urban and Family program is actually more needed because it's more stood up, more involved.
Agreed.
You wouldn't be losing much on the Veterans Affairs side yet, because we haven't really gotten much traction on that one yet.
So with everybody in for a vote, is everybody all right with him taking over Urban and Family as our training program?
Yes.
The biggest thing that I'll explain to him is the reason why he was not chosen for the one that he has more passion for. Because you got a program that's still in the works.
And it doesn't mean that he can't get involved with it on some level, because every one of these positions, for the most part, has committees. So they could be involved. You can, as an officer of one position, you can be involved in any committee, and as many committees as you want. So he can still be involved.
We don't even have a fully understand what he's been asked to do for veterans affairs.
All right, so, the president is, opting to vote you in or appoint you as the VP of Airmen and Family Programs.
The reason behind this is, after talking with the council members, Veteran Affairs is still a new program, it still hasn't been stood up yet. But there is no other reason why you couldn't be, participating in any program else and just be the VP of this one, but you can still get involved with Veteran Affairs, as anywhere as well.
Okay, moving on for the next position, it's gonna be the VP of Awards and Recognition. Sergeant Ricart is already appointed onto a position, and you've heard, words from Sergeant Lane, who's not here today, and I don't believe Sergeant Martin is here either. So, I think he's actually working on mids, when they will come. We'll give a few words for Sergeant Martin. Alright, so for Sergeant Martin, we've got the Eros of 2023, he's here for a while still. The only words he has is he is a lifetime member of Air Force Sergeants Association. He's interested in this position because it has an opening. His strengths is he's about average at everything.
Wait, his strength to what?
He's about average at everything.
You can just do it.
That's a joke, everybody.
I would consider myself as being weak or strong in any area. And at the moment, there are no other candidates, and that's why he should be selected.
I like Sergeant
Sergeant
Lane.
Lane.
Well, honestly, in Sergeant Lane's, we wrote something about, professional, development types, stuff anyway, so I
Did
think.
you hear Sergeant Lane's? Because I wasn't in the room when he did that.
I will refresh on Sergeant Lane, yes. Give me just a moment.
You do the obvious proceeding without hearing it.
And just a little quick history on this position while you're looking it up. Normally there is no airman, or excuse me, no VP of awards and recognition position in the AFA structure. We created this one because normally all of that stuff falls under aerospace education, but it's a lot under aerospace education. So we separated all the awards out. We put someone over that. So the VP of aerospace education can focus on STEM education, cyber, all that stuff. So that's why we created that.
So again, Sergeant Lane, he hasn't been an official member of AFA, but being a part of AFA is something he's wanted to do for some time. He wasn't going to engage in something that he wasn't able to give his absolute into it. That's why he hasn't submitted for an application earlier. He wants to be a part of something bigger, wants to give back to others. The value I place in people is higher than anything, and I feel that being involved with this organization would give him a different platform to create opportunities for others. Very passionate, great pride in his work, and the work of others that are around him. Loves critical thinking, problem solving, well versed in facets of process management and improvement. Again, the only weakness is adjusting things to his preference at the end of a task or project. And he'll do his absolute best to provide value wherever he can. Very flexible, very diverse, and he wants to get everything. He can't speak for others, but I do know that you will get everything I have to ensure I best represent what AFA stands for. Discussion on the two nominations, Sergeant Lane and Sergeant Martin. Sir?
So everybody for Sergeant Lane? Majority.
Okay. All right. And moving to the next section is VP of Communications. Again, Sergeant Lane is on the awards and recognition. Airman Kelly already on Airman Family Readiness or Airman Family Programs. Sergeant Crawford, Treasurer. All right, Sergeant Hirschberg. I'll speak on her. She has her housing delivered today, so she wasn't able to come. Okay, Sergeant Hirschberg. She doesn't have any experience with this chapter. She looked forward to getting involved with the organization. She does have experience as both secretary and president of Squadron Booster Club. And she used to attend AFA meetings at previous bases. She really enjoys being involved with the on and off base community, wants to help out spreading the word about all the opportunities this organization provides. She's very organized and comfortable providing feedback. Biggest weakness is she could be very abrasive. I am currently in a communication bachelor's degree program and would like a chance to utilize my degree for what I've learned and have not had a chance to get involved in the organization to use my networking skills, but loves the opportunity to do so with this organization. And there's small additional details. She's a maintenance person and keeps a very busy schedule, but leadership is supporting her to apply for these positions and allowing me to work around this as needed.
So the only thing that I would say though is if you look at VP of membership, she gets selected for this other one, then we have no one for membership.
One and open a free space for someone else to take it.
My thought on this too, the same what she's saying is, if like with the Veterans Affairs one, we didn't have a VP of Communications this last rotation as well. A lot of it was covered down either by myself or by the secretaries, and working with Andrea here. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of these functions would probably actually better fit into the secretary role. So I think I would lean towards moving her down to membership. That's my kind of thought process on that one. And go ahead and either leave VP of Communications blank, or maybe even look at
dissolving.
Yeah, 'cause she can still use the communication skills as the membership person, still going out to do, 5-minute briefs at NCO PES, at commander's calls and things of that nature. Still use those communication skills as a membership person and help what this chapter hurts on is membership and actually getting the word out there. Having more people stop getting AFA confused with Air Force Sergeant Association, know that they are different.
And the Air Force Assistance.
And the Air Force Assistance Fund, AFAF, because I get that one all the time too.
So
So-
she takes the membership role,
Hello?
it's gonna leave
Hi,
the
yes.
VP role open.
Yes, ma'am? Major
It'll
Stride?
leave the communications role open then.
Hey, it's me. So what I was waiting for was until the end. If there's a position that's not open, that's not filled, I don't mind filling that capacity. So I know you guys are talking about membership and communication. Either one of those, I wouldn't mind being a part of.
So, and another reason, another thing though that I wanted to mention on the membership, and you just mentioned this, sir, is that it's the one thing that this organization is lacking right now. So, I know she wrote off her application, she can be a little bit abrasive, but I tend to relate that more towards aggressiveness, which in my opinion is not necessarily a bad thing at all. And if you're gonna be membership, you're gonna need to be aggressive. So I actually see that as like perfect personality type for that position, in my opinion.
Agreed.
It's a real value. It's-
Sure.
All right, so moving on to the DQ of communications, and we'll move Herzenberg first.
Sergeant Hertzberg.
Down to VP of membership.
Okay.
Is everybody all right with that?
Yeah.
So Mayor Sherrod.
And of course, Major Sherrod
Communications
can,
then?
you be DIRCOM or Veterans Affairs or.
So, Major Sherrod, that leaves 2 vacant positions, as all the other members that are here are on other positions, the VP of Communications and the VP of Veteran Affairs.
One thing though, I'm sorry, before that, Major Stride, and then for the group, so I did get an email literally as I was running out here. I'm not sure why it was sent to me directly instead of you, sir. But there is one person, staff sergeant, that from maintenance that is interested in running for the Veterans Affairs position.
Oh.
But he just got back from Red Flag from Alaska, so he's quarantined and has not even gotten his initial negative results, so cannot leave the house. But he spoke with me on the phone before, whilst I was on my way here, and that is 100%, I know him pretty well, that's definitely in his lane. And he's very passionate about that area. So just to put it out there, I didn't want to mention it before because he did not fill out an application, he was a little bit late, but again, he was a Red Flag, so if anybody else was there, I told him, I'm not going to sit here and throw a wrench at it, but if there's no one else, I sincerely feel like he will be a good person to put on the council.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm all right with him filling the position.
Yes, sir.
Just so know it is a new position that he's probably going to have to do a lot of work and things.
For sure.
Thank you for speaking up.
Okay, so the decision for VP of Communications? Major Sherrod, do you have any objection to filling the VP of Communications role?
No, I actually welcome it. I am a communications officer, so that's awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Well, with that being said, VP of Communications for District 1 is going to Major Sherrod, and then we potentially have another nomination for VP of Veteran Affairs.
What's his name? Sergeant Ramon?
Ramon?
Yep, I'll ask him to send the
Yeah,
application to
you
you.
send that way I get that, and then, again, I'm gonna reach out to everybody that's elected with the next steps. So, okay, so that will conclude the election portion of the meeting.
Round of applause for all the new elections. Congratulations.
Sorry, I have to take my Tommy to the vet.
Okay. So again, that's the major objective for today, was just getting elections. I'm gonna reach out to everybody that is newly appointed with some additional emails, as well as who your predecessors are. That way you can link up together, as well as some additional requirements that I'll need for you. for filing purposes, as well as there is official AFA training modules that you can go through depending on what your position is. We'll send that information out as well. And then I'm not sure if we're going to do familiarization 101, but we do have some products that we were in the development stages for a familiarization for this chapter specific. We could talk about as well. So we don't really have any other items on the agenda for today. We already heard from General Chun if you had any other items that you wanted to speak to specifically.
So,
I realize that next time I need to be there to better participate as well as to get to know you guys. Definitely will try to do that. Thank you.
Okay, and I believe, I don't know what the current escort rules are, but I believe we might have the ability to escort folks on base, and we can look into that, see if it's possible to escort you on base. If not, I mean, we have done meetings, council meetings before at off-base locations. That's always an option as well. We've done it in the past, so. Mr. Nichol?
So two things for the new council, and actually anybody, first thing here, if you're a current member, want to know how you can be involved with AFA. If you're not a member and you want to know more about the AFA, or if you're a new council member, you need mentorship, write down my name and number, Jeremy Nickel, Nickel, and my number is 010-6657-1523. Best thing to do is to text me, because I work Sunday through Thursday from about 4 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. I will get back to you if you text me. There's no such thing as texting me too much or for anything. If you think it's trivial, it doesn't matter. The worst thing you can do is not ask questions and just, suffer on it and let it slip or go to the side or something. Just don't hesitate to ask me anything at any time. Second thing would be, like he kind of alluded to, would be a familiarization 101. I would like if you guys can pick work together and get like a date. I don't care if it's a Saturday or Sunday or whatever. Find a place, USO classroom or something, and set. We can do an hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, whatever you want, and I can run through everything. And I can do more than one if you need more than one. I can do multiple sessions. Just let me know what dates, what times, and locations, and I'll make sure I can be there to get y'all's fun up as much as possible. Of course, you can always do cross exchange with your counterpartner, if available. If not, I'm fluid on all the positions that can help you out. So even if you don't get any kind of turnover with your predecessor, you can always reach out to me. And I'll definitely be working with you guys on to get stuff transferred over for treasurer and for the president, of course.
Sorry, just to be clear, maybe I missed something. So, VP of Community Partners.
That's Sergeant Holmes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Sergeant Holmes, he's staying in the position, and I think he's more than fit for that position.
Awesome.
With his connections off base.
Perfect. I just wanted to, I guess I want to make sure my list is right.
Yeah, no.
And then VP of Leadership Development.
So that was Major Frazier, Andrew Frazier, but he was elected special election, I believe, last meeting, or the last time we met. However, he's on leave off pin. He did reach out to me, but obviously he's not going to be back until I think the end of this month. So but he's still in that position.
So that's,
F-R-A-S-E-R, Frazier.
You keeping that position?
Yeah. Well, because it was unfilled for the majority of the first term, from January till I think about April, it was unfilled. And I think he submitted around May or so, something like that. And then we chose to put him in that position. Again, that's like the VA program. That is also a new program that is very undeveloped at this point, very premature. We'll need somebody to really rein in that program and solve it.
and then my last question on this for me personally would be for the new president, sir. Are you wanting to you wanted to think about, or do you want to stay just simply with the same schedule that we were running for like the general meetings and then for the executive council? So for the general meetings, we're doing it, basically like today. This would be, our general meeting, but for the executive council, we never were able to really coordinate a good, time, so we tried lunch instead of like, after work or whatever, but we could never really get it to where we could all show up, so just food for thought for whenever, however you guys are gonna work it out.
Okay.
Yeah, the district level.
All right, yeah, let me see what the schedules are like and how they're all lining up. So you see, the biggest one for the council to show up is the hardest one to get everybody to do.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's my recommendation too, because I'm also secretary for AFA. We have our general meeting 1 week of the month, and then the week prior, 7 days prior, we do a council-only meeting. That way, at the general meeting, we're not, making like council-level discussions when we got non-council members in here. We can just get to the meat and potatoes about what we want to discuss. In and out should take an hour and a half to do a general meeting.
Something like that.
So.
And just everybody on the same page, I think I'm on tour soon. And I'd like to hold at least one more meeting prior to going to that, especially with council members. And make sure that everybody's on the same page, I guess that's some turnover. Got more than welcome to have another one for August while I'm gone, by all means. I just want to get everybody on the same page and kind of talk to everybody.
Lastly, you have two advisory positions I told you about. One is a US one, one's a Korean one. Corey Daniels was the US previous one. He PCS to Las Vegas, so that position is open. Of course, again, it's whoever you appoint at any point in time. You can swap those out whenever you feel like it. So it could be him if that's your choice.
Would you like to get in on that?
I can just probably try like maybe next time. I just want to make sure we read just a little bit more about the position. Because I just looked at the three specific positions, is that an actual one or not?
Okay.
I want to just know just a little bit more.
Yeah, do your research and reach back out to us.
So, and then Hakyeong Kyo, you haven't met him, but he's our Korean advisor. He lives in Seoul. Again, you can either choose him, keep him, you can pick your own, or you can work maybe with General Chung and see if he has any recommendations on an advisor.
And how long has he been in that position?
Hakyeong Kyo, he's been there for a little while. But so advisory positions are non-voting positions. They don't have, because you can appoint them at any time. They don't have limits. They can stay there as long as the next president keeps choosing them.
Okay.
My recommendations on those positions are, like on the Korean side, you want someone that's going to help you with maybe translations or just understanding Korean culture and Korean laws if possible, things like that. Maybe helping you build connections with the Koreans. So you don't want someone that's just going to shy away. You want someone that's very strong and certain that position. On the U.S. side, it's kind of the same thing. Maybe someone that can help you get connected with the different leaderships around the base. Maybe someone who has AFA experience that can help you understand AFA and how it works. Or maybe someone that has history with this particular chapter, who's still here. I don't know if we have too many people like that or not. You don't have to pick me or I'll be helping no matter what.
Yes, sir.
As long as you want my help.
Of course.
So again, that would be someone that may, like I said, might help you get plugged in with the base a little bit better and keep you advised on things that are going on in the base.
Okay.
Unless you can find someone that has a lot of good AFA experience or something like that.
Okay.
So now I'm just kind of already explained the structure. We have basically 4 or 5 positions at the top. We have president, executive vice president, executive secretary, and we have VP of finance. Who oversee the 2 different districts. Let's see, where's my VP of District 1. So basically, you're going to oversee everything. Sorry, I don't want to drag this on too long. You guys are gone. Just a few quick seconds. So basically, the VP of the district, for all intents and purposes, is the president of that location. You're overseeing everything. You're at the strategic level. You're going to guide and advise and direct. And they run the show daily. So you're not going to be one, you're not the boots on the ground kind of person. That's going to be your VP of the district. So just because you're the VP, don't think you're going to have a nice, chill job. You're going to be busy.
I don't know if you're gonna name all VPs, but they all work.
Yeah. So That's a little different, but it's, the reason why we did that here in Korea instead of having a Kunsan chapter and an Osan chapter and a Humphreys chapter is because like what the general was talking about at the beginning, we're trying to get tax exempt nonprofit status here in Korea. It's a process that I've been working on for 3 years now. It's not easy. But one of the requirements is there can only be one. You can't have a tax exempt nonprofit for Osan and for Kunsan and for Humphreys. You have to be one organization. So we decided to just pull it all together. I worked with General Wright at AFA, and I'll be plugging you in with all those guys as the president. And we talked it over, and that was the way to go, was to create one entity for Korea, and then we can work on getting that tax exempt status to the Korean government.
I'm waiting for Camp Humphreys to get on board as our third.
We're
Pushing forward.
We're waiting on those. We're trying to stand up the Kunsan one first. We've got 2 people down. I think we have 3 now. We have a treasurer.
We got 3, we kinda got a treasurer.
Yeah, so we have 3 people down there now.
Okay.
Just because there's 10 or 11 or 14 positions, I don't know how many we have down there, but it doesn't mean we have to fill them. You know, it may not work for that type of base, what they have going on down there. I haven't been down there but once, and that was a long time ago. That can be something that you can do. Once we got them stood up, I was gonna try to go down there from time to time and sync up with the chapter in person, but COVID put a lot of hindrance on that. And that's all I have. If nobody has any questions for me, that would conclude the, we can always offline too, offline too.
A question about the membership. Is it 2 boxes, the intro rate, and then like whatever membership that we are? Or?
No, it would just be one. If you've never ever had an AFA membership, then you're an intro.
Okay.
If you had one before and expired 5, 10 years ago, last year, then you're not intro at this point. Intro is a one-time deal. So.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. And again, I'll be reaching out to everybody offline. And what I would recommend, President, here is now that there are many positions that are now newly elected, highly recommend that as turnover happens, as training happens, as people start getting into the role, now's the perfect time to develop processes, turnover documents, continuity, SOPs, things of that nature. It's things that that we've done maybe a little bit of, but not really.
That's one question I was gonna have for him, if he had some kind of turnover book or something book to hand over.
Yeah, I mean, so again, we're gonna talk offline. 95, 99% of the communication is all through our official AFA.org email account. Everybody's gonna get access to that. Every single document is on the Google Drive, not on a shared drive that gets scrubbed and stuff like that. So again, there's emails I'm gonna send out, but I just really want to hit on if you find that if somebody finds that there's not an already in place guide or SOP, make one. Now's the perfect time, not at the end of your 6 months, but at the beginning of your 6 months. So that's all I got. If there's no other questions, apparently I have bad reception in here, so if there's no other questions, then that will be meeting. Yeah, you can, I'll take care of it. Yeah, and I'll be in touch with everybody, so, okay, thank you.
She's the VP of Finance.
And then for previous predecessor contact info, I assume we'll be sending.
Yeah, it'll all be through email. I got template emails. I've been on base for 5 years. I've been on AFA full terms now. I've got a lot of those processes ironed out. You'll get emails from me.
Yeah, I'll hunt you down the global if I need to.
No, and I'm not leaving. I still got a year left. I'm going to retire. And I'm going to stay here indefinitely. He's been here for 5 years. I've been here for 5 years. So he retired. I'm going to be retiring here soon too. 22, next year 23. So I'm getting there. I'm getting where I need to be.